Hi there, this is David, and thank you for joining me this weekend for some new RPG news. We have a lot of stuff to talk about this week, from a bunch of Square Enix stuff, new DLC, new game announcements, to some drama between Kotaku and Nintendo, as well as Final Fantasy XVI getting banned in a country? Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. We're starting off here today with a pretty small article, but I think it's interesting. It says that Square Enix has been chatting pretty much about the future of Octopath Traveler. It's just a very small little blurb over Infamitsu, and it says, compared to the last entry, the game has advanced a lot, but I can't help but wonder if 2 has already evolved this much, what would they do if they made a third Octopath Traveler? And then they said, we haven't decided clearly on future developments yet, but we've casually chatted about what could evolve in the future. So that pretty much just tells me that, yeah, there's actually still talk of a third game in development, and I'm happy about that because I love the Octopath series. It's HD 2D, it is old school turn-based battle systems, it's just a whole hell of a lot of fun, and I'm glad to have it, glad to see that there is actually discussion of a third game in the series. Say what y'all will about mobile games, but this one looks pretty cool. This is Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and it's getting closed beta this summer, even though we were supposed to get a closed beta last winter, but okay, whatever. This is actually, if you don't know what this is, it's like the entire universe of Final Fantasy VII all remade and redone into one game. That includes the baseline Final Fantasy VII as well as Crisis Core all together, all in one game with a really neat art style. And it is released for mobile. Hopefully we're going to get a console release. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. It also says that it's free to play, which does really kind of beg the question as to how will the game earn money. I don't know if they're going to be like, hey, you get extra experience, pay some money. I don't really know. Maybe they're going to do like a chapter system, kind of like they did with Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, or how they did with Final Fantasy Dimensions, which I really loved, or even Final Fantasy The After Years back in the day. So I don't know. Personally, if I was going to design it myself, I would do the chapter system, just because I liked those mobile games better. And I feel like gacha kind of destroys everything that it touches, but we shall see. I'm just kind of waiting with bated breath for this one. Let's file this under, and nothing of value has been lost. Because Final Fantasy XVI has been banned in one country, give you one guess, it's Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I know. So they've banned other games previously, apparently like God of War and Grand Theft Auto, because of their adult themes. And apparently they went and they asked Square to censor just a couple of scenes, and they wouldn't do it. It says that Saudi Arabia's public authority for audiovisual media has released an announcement saying that Final Fantasy XVI will not be released in the country due to the publisher's unwillingness to make necessary changes. Makes you wonder what kind of necessary changes they're talking about. Is it the violence? Something tells me it's not the violence. Something tells me maybe there's gay characters, and maybe they didn't want gay characters in Saudi Arabia. Just saying. I don't really know. Nobody really knows what it is, but, you know, I gotta give it to Square Enix for having some balls and standing their ground and saying, no way, we are not going to be making these changes. We're not going to kowtow to your censorship or anything else like that. But it also kind of begs the question, if it is because of violence and it is because of their mature rating, then why is Square turning Final Fantasy XVI into an action RPG? Because you know who likes action RPGs? Younger audiences. So you're making your game for a younger audience, but you're also increasing the rating to a mature rating for an older audience. What are you doing, Square? I don't know, but that's like an argument for a whole other time. But I'm just saying, you know what? Go Square Enix. Don't make your changes. Stand your ground. Keep what it is that you have in there. And, you know, Say no to authoritarian governments. In news that nobody really saw coming, Forespoken is getting some DLC. It's coming out on May the 26th, and it's called Forespoken in Tanta We Trust. It says it's going to take you deeper into the past of Athia and the pivotal events that set the events of the original adventure into motion. It takes place after the events of the original game, and I did beat the original game. It took me only, 13 hours, but I beat it. If the original game takes you 13 hours, how long can DLC take you? I'm just saying. But anyway, talks about the story. It says Frey has brought peace to Athia, but the effects of the break still remain. She's searching for a way to, free the people from the break. She hears a mysterious voice. She follows it, and it brings it back to the past of Athia. And it's set during the Purge of the Red Egg, which if you've played the game, you know what that is. And she's able to be accompanied by Tanta Cinta. And if you've played the game, you know who that is. Far be it from me to spoil anything here. She learns the truth about Athia, and she hopefully saves it, because Lord knows there ain't going to be no more DLC for this game, good God. It failed so hard that the entire studio had to be broken up and reabsorbed back into Square. She, of course, gains new powers, and all that kind of stuff, and she's going to learn about the past and blah, 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 blah. Say what you will about Forespoken, but you know what? And say what you will about how short it was, because I do, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. So sue me. What do you want from me? Does that mean that I'm going to play this DLC? No, but I still enjoyed it, Anyway, if you got the digital deluxe edition, you can get it on May the 23rd at no additional cost. Otherwise, you can buy it separately on May the 26th. If you don't have a PlayStation, worry not, because Sony confirms that more PlayStation games are coming to PC. This was buried in their fiscal year earnings report. It says Sony will continue rolling out catalog titles for PC, but they didn't provide a timetable for the launch of any such PC releases. So if you, again, don't have a PlayStation and you just have a PC, it's a waiting game. It might take a minute, but you might get your wish and these games might come out. So far, we've seen Horizon Zero Dawn, Marvel Spider-Man, and other former exclusive titles debut on the PC, but then it talks about problems that Sony has by porting these games whenever it says The Last of Us Part 1's launch was arguably the PlayStation's worst PC release to date, unfortunately, as the port was plagued with bugs and other technical issues. So, yeah. It also says that it takes them quite a bit of time to port these games over to PC. Many years, actually, for them to come. But, you wait long enough and you will eventually get them. Bear with me here as we have a new game announcement. This is a mouthful. It is called Mon Yu, defeat monsters and gain strong weapons and armor. You may be defeated, but don't give up. Become stronger. I believe there will be a day when the heroes defeat the Devil King. That's literally the name of the game. I swear to God. Who names this shit? Whatever. It's launching this fall for the PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and it's just shortened to Mon Yu, because no one is ever going to say that name. Like, seriously? Come on. It's created by the designers who created the Nintendo DS RPG 7th Dragon, which was translated, and I played it, and I loved it. It's a traditional dungeon crawling RPG in the same vein as something like Wizardry, where you choose your party members, you choose their classes, and then you go into a dungeon separated by floors, and each floor has a boss that you have to defeat, and it says in order to defeat them, strategy and skill is emphasized over levels and grinding, which is kind of cool. So first-person dungeon crawling, if you're into that sort of stuff, you might want to check this game out, which I will now be calling just Mon Yu, because that's ridiculous. Let's file this one under Fuck Around and Find Out. Some people, they're so damn dumb, I don't understand. A GameStop employee is fired over leaking Zelda Tears of the Kingdom OLED Switch. I don't know what an OLED is, but whatever. So apparently, they got wind that there was going to be some sort of special edition OLED Switch, and they took a photograph of it, and then they put it on Reddit to say, look at me! Look how special I am! Look at my inside info! And Nintendo found out, and they contacted GameStop, and GameStop was none too pleased, and fired the person. So, yeah, What did you expect was going to happen? I'm sure you enjoyed your 5 minutes of fame. You can enjoy it from the unemployment line now. Like, I don't get this kind of leak culture that is happening now. Like, it was a breach of trust violation, you know? You're in management. What are you doing? I don't understand. Some people, I just don't get people's mindsets. I really don't. Oh, the drama. This is our final story of the day, and it has again to do with Nintendo and Zelda and Kotaku, doing what Kotaku does best, which is being drama mamas and being a little tiny bit crazy. It says here that Kotaku journalist Luke Plunkett insinuates a desire for anti-Japanese violence in response to Nintendo denying Kotaku a review copy of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, like, this entire story, if you read the story, it is wild. It is wild, folks. So, Nintendo is basically saying that Kotaku isn't exactly the most reliable or professional news organization, which is something that we already really know. So Nintendo blacklisted them and didn't give them a review copy. So, basically, they went to Twitter and they bitched on there. It says, "It's preview day for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a huge game that I would love for Kotaku to be able to inform its millions of readers about firsthand. Unfortunately, Nintendo still has us blacklisted from advanced coverage, a move that I would argue is both unprofessional and coercive." What a joke! Kotaku is calling somebody unprofessional and coercive? You've got to be kidding me. So, like, they went ahead in response. So, you probably know that there was a leak about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And because of this, it says they acted like petulant children. It says, however, rather than engage in even a moment of self-reflection, Gatch decided to add to Kotaku's history of acting like petulant children by responding to the criticism by publishing a self-explanatory article detailing everything we're learning about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from the leaks, a response which was soon met with backlash of its own. So they're blacklisted for unprofessional behavior. They whine on Twitter. Nintendo still doesn't unblacklist them. So then, to try to get Nintendo's good graces, they're publishing leaks about it? Like, what? The whole thing is crazy. So people are calling them out on Twitter, calling them out in the comments section of Kotaku, and then another editor, Luke Plunkett, comes on and says, "I am years past caring what these people say. I'm simply aghast at the fanatical fervor of which is thrown in 2023. Then he went on another rant, and this is ridiculous. It says, "For the record, this is how I feel about publisher blacklists." And he posts this famous photo from Life magazine of a World War II fighter pilot showing various flags detailing how many fighter pilots he shot down. Like, each flag is saying, I shot down this many Nazi pilots, or I shot down this many Japanese pilots. So the whole insinuation here is he wants to, I don't know, shoot down Nintendo or whatever. The whole thing is crazy. It's crazy. He says, "For the record, this is how I feel about publisher blacklists," with this image, which he then took down off of Twitter, but it's the internet, so it's there forever. You know, is this how he expects to get back in Nintendo's good graces? What are you doing, Kotaku? What are you doing? This is absolutely wild. Not exactly JRPG so related, but holy crap, people, this is crazy. Anyway, I just had to bring all this news to y'all. Let me know what you think about this week's news. And make sure that you're looking forward to next week's news as well. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to cover. Also, and as always, have a good day.